Saturday morning here, and I milked this morning. Yeah, when we pen up the cows, this is the Whey trough up here in the freestall barn for the milk cows. When we pen them up, we always fill it up. This trough holds about 1,000 gallons. Then when we're done milking, we top it off again whenever we shut the gate to pen them in the freestall barn. Yeah, so they probably drank close to 500 gallon here since I penned them up. And they'll have the trough. They're not drinking quite as much here in the heat of the summer as they do other times of the year, but they'll probably have the trough. Sometimes, different parts of the year, they'll have the trough completely empty. They're probably drinking somewhere around 2,500 gallon a day right now, give or take a little. So. This trough here, we actually had a local welding shop make it up. It's actually all stainless steel, and man, that's been 10 years ago. I'd hate to guess what it would cost now to get one made like it, but back then I think we ended up paying maybe $1,000 or $1,100 for it, but that was money well spent. It fit in right where we needed it to fit in, and yeah. For the dry cows, we found an old cheese vat, and that works really good for them too. I think that one holds 1,000 gallon as well. But yeah, here's the cows down through the freestall barn. They're all, a bunch of them are laying in the stalls. Down there you can see one that's standing that's not laying, but yeah. And then over here there's a whole row up eating. My son just ran the silage out here for him. I don't know, in the last 20 minutes probably. But yeah, we have, I think I probably showed this before, but we have, they call them dump watering troughs. They're pretty neat how they work. They have a handle here so they can't dump them whenever you don't want them dumped. Yeah, if you pull it, then there's a big handle here you can pull up that'll give you leverage to tilt it. So you basically got to pull this up to unlatch it, and then have the handle up and tilt it over. I just dumped it there when we penned them up to milk. We dump them at least once a day, sometimes twice a day if they get dirty. In the wintertime, we maybe don't dump them quite as fast, especially when it's bitter cold. We kind of got to watch here. Some of the water runs out the door, and if we dump them, they end up, yeah, it can make it slick and icy here if it's really, really cold. So. But yeah, in the summer, we keep them dumped fairly regular. Every morning when we're done milking, we scrape up the holding area, and then the lane that goes up to the freestall barn, we scrape that up too. Starting to spit rain and the sun's shining, so I say it's spitting rain. It's raining pretty good actually, or showering pretty good. But yeah, anyhow, it's really muggy morning. Probably, I think I seen 73 when I got up, so it's pretty warm out. I don't know if I've ever showed a lot of this. I probably have, but this here's our one manure pit. It's right here in the middle of the barnyard, or right beside the barnyard, and then our heifer barns are built around it. This was the one we would have put in years ago, probably getting close to 30 years ago when we first put it in. And then about 5 years later, we made it a lot bigger and concreted it. And originally it was an earthen pit, and we had just lined it with clay. Then whenever we made it a lot bigger, we put 2 walls on 2 of the sides. And over here where we pump out, we made a ramp where we can get down into it. That's where they back the pump down in, and then we can also get down in it if we ever need to clean anything out of the bottom. Then the other 2 sides, we just shotcreted. We poured the whole floor with concrete, and then we shotcreted the other 2 walls. So the whole thing is concrete. And yeah, this pit will hold probably about 6 weeks worth of manure or something like that. Then probably close to 10 years ago, we put another big pit in. Man, I better get done. It looks like it's pouring down rain not too far away back here. I'm gonna be happy for rain, but it'd be nice not to get soaked. But yeah, about 10 years ago, we put another manure pit in up here that holds, I think around 850,000 gallons. This one down here holds 350 or 60. The other holds around 850, so yeah, we can hold about 4 months worth of manure. We have a pipe buried underground, and when this one gets full, we pump it up into the other one. And it's probably a little over half full right now. So yeah, it'll be this fall that we haul out, it'll be getting close to full. Over here is our whey tank and the whey trough for our dry cows. Yeah, that's that old cheese vat I talked about. And I'll fill the whey trough up over here. Originally, these tanks come with, I forget if it's 1.5 or 2-inch valves in them. And we take them out and cut the hole a little bigger and always put 3-inch valves in them. They fill the troughs up way faster. They would have just filled this tank yesterday, so it's got a bunch of pressure in it. I mean, as the tank gets emptier, it don't come out quite as fast, but it really chugs her out when it's full. I'll go over here and show you my soybeans a little bit while they're filling up. And we were really dry most of the summer. We'd get a couple tenth here and a couple tenth there, enough to keep us going. And I mentioned before how our corn's going to be short. Some of the later corn, or the corn that was planted last, is a little better. We also have the one variety from the one company that's not anything special, but overall our corn's fair. It's better than some areas, but our beans, I was saying about it being really dry most of the summer, then here about the last 10 days we've had about 2.5 inches of rain, and I mean our beans have just started taking off, so I think they're actually going to be okay. Yeah, here you can see them. We just resprayed them again about 2 weeks ago. There was a few weeds popping up through, but they're about halfway between my knees and my waist. Yeah, between my knees and 3-4 inches above my knees is probably about average for them. So hopefully, yeah, we'll keep getting rain. But yeah, there you can see little bean pods starting down through there. Right here's several of them. So yeah, I'm hoping we get a good bean crop. The last 2 years our beans were a little iffy. I think 2 years ago we had something called stem fly get in them, and our yield was hurt pretty bad from that. Then last year it got really hot and dry right at the end of summer. I mean, they looked beautiful before that. They were about waist high and just loaded with pods, but the beans never filled out. I mean, they were small. The beans were small. But so yeah, hopefully we'll keep getting rain here and at least get a really good bean crop. That would be really nice. Yeah, we fill this trough up every morning. We just fill this trough up once a day. In the afternoon you'll come over here, they'll still have a foot or so left in it. So yeah, there's usually around 100 to 110 head over here. So they're drinking right about 10 gallons a day. The interesting thing is, as soon as you start filling the trough, man, they all come crowding around it. You see all these others right back here. They're wanting their turn as well. They all really like their whey. I might have showed this before too, but you know how like when they drink water they'll just slurp and slurp. Well, here they kind of lap around at it. It has a fair amount of salt in it, so I don't know if that's what makes them do that, but they'll slurp a little bit out and then they'll lap and lap for a little bit. And yeah, it's kind of interesting how they drink whey in comparison to drinking water. But here's a cow we bought, a group of cows maybe a year or so ago. We had kind of expanded our herd here about 2 years ago. And yeah, we had bought a group there 2 years ago and then bought a smaller group a year later. But yeah, now we got a bunch more heifers coming in, so we shouldn't have to buy any more, hopefully. Here's a cow, one of them we bought. She's got some horns on her. Everybody calls her the bull ride mania cow. She kind of reminds you of the bulls, how they get a horn that curls down. But she's a really good milk cow. I think she's coming in with probably her 4th calf maybe. But it's milks very well. There's a Jersey cross. There's a bunch of linebacks over here too. There, that tan lineback. We just dried her up actually just yesterday. Yeah. 2 years ago I think I'd mentioned about buying those groups of cows. 2 years ago we bought a group of Jersey crosses, and there was a couple pure Jerseys in that group, but several of them were bred back already when we bought them. We bought them out of a herd, and so the ones that were bred back must have been bred to Jersey. There's a Jersey heifer over there going. It's out of one of them, but we don't have a lot of pure Jerseys. Jerseys maybe wouldn't be our favorite cow, but they do all right with milk production. They're a little bit of a smaller animal. They're a little harder to move around than the Holsteins or the Linebacks. The Lineback temperament's pretty similar to the Holstein. Yeah, I've kind of been doing a little bit of a crop update here, right here in the middle of the summer. We got another inch of rain yesterday. So yeah, in the last 10 days here, we had somewhere between 2.5 and 3 inches of rain. This is the Sudex that we planted after we combined wheat. And yeah, it's growing and looking really good. I mean, it's probably, yeah, about 2 foot tall on average. Really lush and green and looking good. We have about 40 acres of this. Everything where we combined wheat, we planted into this Sudex, and it's a photosensitive Sudex, photosensitive BMR Sudex, which the BMR stands for brown midrib. It's supposed to be higher digestible and better feed value, and the photosensitive means that it won't head out and mature until the length of the daylight hours gets shorter. It's usually around the end of September here in our area. Yeah, we could make 2 cuttings off of it, but we often let it go and just make 1 big cutting and mow it off and chop it and put it in a trench and feed it to the heifers and dry cows, and maybe mix a little bit of it into the milk cows if it tests good enough. But it's usually ends up being about 6 or 7 foot tall and just keeps growing and getting really leafy. So yeah, 2 weeks ago or 10 days ago, before we got that rain, it was maybe 6 inches high and all shriveled up. It looked awful, but man, a little bit of rain does wonders if it's at the right time. We would have planted this about 5 weeks ago probably. Here's another field of our soybeans. I took a video of one of our other fields in here. This field here, I think it's 85 or 87 acres, and it's looking really nice. We had to replant all of this stuff too. And so yeah, it's a little farther behind. I mean, it'd be a little more mature by now than what it is, but they're probably about a good 6 inches, halfway between my knees and waist most places. With all the rain we just got, beans will stretch on up some more. And yeah, there's a lot of pods starting on the stalks, and there's a lot of blooms on these out here. Right here we're going over a ridge, so they're pretty sad looking right here. I guess the drought just about did them in right across this spot. But yeah, haven't been back in here too far at all. I'm not sure. Over on the other side of this field, there's a spot or two where we still had some pretty bad groundhog and slug damage, kind of a combination of both. One spot looked more like slug damage over that one ridge. But back in this corner, they look pretty fair, so that sure is a blessing. Yeah, I wasn't sure what I'd find back in here, but yeah, I'm in the one cornfield out here. Yeah, it's probably about 8 foot tall on average, and got half decent ears coming on it. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with this field. This is probably one of our nicest fields of corn, and I'd say most stalks have a decent ear on. Some of them, there's one that I think will come on out now since we're getting rain. There's a pretty good ear. I'll open one up here to see once what it does look like, but yeah, that's got a really nice ear on there. Probably a good 10 inches long, and yep, if it finished just filling the tip out, oh boy, it has something there in the end eating at it. So yeah, this is the field hopefully we'll be able to do snaplage out of if we have enough silage. See if I can get a I want to walk on across here up on a ridge, see what it's like there. Here I'm going down through a hollow. Yeah, it's probably up there 9-10 feet tall right through here. Yeah, this variety of corn, we have planted it for years, and it has always done tremendously well for us. And We probably plant more of this variety than any other corn. It's very drought tolerant and very year in and year out, and does very well. Yeah, I'm getting up over here on this ridge, and this is a really clay ridge. Probably one of the higher ones that we have in this field. And it's still got good height to it. And man, it's hot out here today. The ears aren't near as far along over here, but they're there. I think they'll finish filling out if the rain we got, and if we keep getting rain. Yeah, right here you can see down through, it's a section where it was just starting to go down over a hill there pretty bad. Apparently the planter drifted over a little bit more or something, because it's just right about a 100-foot section here right over this kind of the crest of the ridge. But we're up on top of the hill here. It's maybe not quite as tall, probably still 7 feet tall on average, or it's taller than I am. And every stalk got an ear started, and some they're filling out pretty good. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed here from what I'm seeing. Oh, I know what else I wanted to say. The interesting thing is this field here is the one I did a video there earlier when it was short or younger. And this field would have been the field that we had the worst slug damage in. And this field has the highest hills and probably the worst clay ridges and stuff. And yeah, it looks tremendous. I'm very impressed with how this corn looks. I'll see if I can get a video out here. I'm way up on top of a hill. If you look out across there, I'm not sure how it'll all see. There's one little rock breakaway out there. You can probably see the clump of trees. But yeah, this field's like really rolling. I think there's 47 acres in this field. Used to be a lot of rocks and rock breaks in this field. And yeah, over the years we cleared them all out except that one. Yeah, there's not even any other rocks sticking up in through here. It's like a jungle in here. I mean, this yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure how it'll show up here, but I'll try to hold the camera up. It really drops down into a hollow over here and then goes on up another hill over there, and then we have a woods over there along that edge. We probably have about, I don't know, 15, 20 acres of woods, and this is here on our home farm, and it's too rocky to try to clear that woods out. I mean, there's rocks everywhere, big old boulders sticking up in there. I mean, yeah, if you spent a pile of money, you could probably clear it out, but it wouldn't be worth it for what we do. And we let our dry cows and heifers can get back in part of it. There's a pasture right beside it. It's really rocky. Yeah, we're back here in another field of our Sudex, and yeah, we normally don't have trouble with weeds coming up in our Sudex. When you plant it, it gets growing, and yeah, I guess it gets ahead of it. But boy, this year, I guess it was dry and they started coming up in there, and it's a fair amount of weeds coming in it, but there ain't much we can do about it now with this Sudex. You can't spray it with much once it's up, or it'll kill it. So we'll have to do what we got to do. It's still, this field's probably the worst of any of them with the weeds. It's up here on the slate land, ain't quite as good a ground. So I guess, yeah, when it was dry there, his stuff was about 5-6 inches tall and just all rolled up tight. And it's always kind of crazy how when it's dry, the only thing that does grow is weeds. So I don't know how that works, but that's the way it usually is. So okay, here's a section. It's really, really nice. I say a section, part of the field. Yeah, it's got a little bit of grass coming in it, few weeds, but nothing like going over there. So that's a good thing. I'm back here on top of the hill here on the slate land where we cleared that other woods out, and it's coming along pretty good. Definitely some foxtail back here, which if you get foxtail made young enough, it makes half decent feed. So but yeah, give it a couple years back here and work with it and keep hauling liquid manure back here as much as we can, or I say liquid pen pack manure, get it built up. It should be all right.
This baby's funny. Instead of like doing like goats are supposed to do and eat out of the feeder, she lays in it every time. So, anyways, that mom's trying to straighten them up. She has 2 little babies. We have 2 babies that are born way late. Anyhow, a bunch of jealous ones out here. They went through the gate so bad. I just gave grain in here to the little ones. The little ones can come through that gate. You know, such a bunch of beggars. You guys need some grain. Huh? Is that the problem? Yeah. I don't know why. She could like... Wait, she's a big one. How did she get through there? Our chocolate lab had puppies, and she had black ones and white ones and chocolate, and then kind of a red color. She actually had 10 of them. I'm really surprised. I didn't expect her to have quite that many. But anyhow, she's doing a good job taking care of all of them. So, but yeah, we just like to have a few puppies, just to enjoy. Yeah, just a couple litters of puppies is fun. And right now they're just sleepy. Their eyes are still shut. Kind of wrinkly faces, just little ears. But they're so tiny. I mean, this one's a little chubber. Oh, it's actually a female. And I think it's going to be more red. The male is a red lab. And yeah, so, but these are going to be really white. Anyhow, they're all laying here just asleep. And we have carpet down, and she flipped the carpet piece back, and we have like a rubber mat down, and then we have carpet, but she flipped the carpet piece back, and then they lay on the mat. So, anyways, she's doing a really good job with these puppies, aren't you, Daisy?